All right, we got a brand new retro, well, you know, you guys already saw it. It's in the thumbnail. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. We got something a little different. It's still a retro, but it's from Nike, not just from Jordan, in this old school packaging back in the day, back in the 70s. And I really dig it. It is actually a remake of an old classic. It's their first basketball shoe ever from this brand, but they updated them. This shoe right here is the Nike Blazer. It's being dubbed the Nike Blazer 77 Jumbo. You know, the big old swoosh right there. They definitely have off-white vibes to them. So if you are familiar with that and those shoes, you're probably instantly looking at these being like, man, what the, like, are they just like knocking off? Not exactly. The off-white thing actually paid tribute to the original version of these things, which is what was cool about the off-white collabs with Nike. They weren't just slapping zip ties on. They were doing things with a purpose. They were functional. Whether you like the designs or not really doesn't matter, because essentially it was art on, you know, functional footwear, which was really cool. Not only that, they actually paid tribute to the history or the heritage of the products that they were tinkering with, which is probably the best part. So for example, the Air Jordan 1 Off-White, I'm not a huge fan of them. I do really like the white ones and the UNCs. I'm not a fan of the Chicagos, believe it or not. For some reason, I feel like that shoe should just be by itself, like as its own shoe. That's history right there. But I don't mind what they did to it, which was they deconstructed it and reconstructed it. They kind of labeled all of the things that you would see on maybe a tech pack or a tech sheet. And I think that that's really dope. This shoe does all that without the labeling. So it's essentially the same thing, not hyped whatsoever. Very, very easy to get. And I think that they're cool. So if you like the off-white things, you should like these. If you like the off-white things and you say you don't like these, what did the new kids say? It's a little sus. Yeah, it's a little sus.
Why are you so old?
But anyways, like I was saying before, the Blazer is actually Nike's original basketball sneaker. It's their first one. There's no Air in this. That didn't happen until the 80s. But this is what people were rocking back in the 70s. George Gervin, the Iceman, the finger roll. Ooh, go watch some highlights. That dude was amazing.
I guarantee it.
And these guys right here are not quite like the originals, obviously. They're a little bit different, but the tooling is a little bit different as well. So this is not my favorite version of the Blazer. The tooling on this is a little weird. It's a little more skaterish, kind of like a Volk looking sole, even though it still is a cup sole. I do have some vintage Blazers that released back in, like, I want to say like 07 or 08. They're somewhere in the back over there, so I'm not going to go dig them out, but they had a completely different looking tooling. It was more like the originals than what these are. But the outsole right here features wave bone. Actually, it's herringbone.
It's weird that they didn't enlarge that.
Yeah, but this is a derivative of
the Adidas
Superstar or Shell Toe, whatever you want to call them, the pro model. Because back then, this or that was what players were playing in, you know what I mean? Like Adidas was big back in the day, and when Nike was first starting out, they had to pick and pull things that were open mode tooling back then, which was stuff like this. So herringbone is on here. It's a little bit different. They sharpened it up, which is different than the Superstars, which were, you know, wavy. That's pretty much it. Again, it's a Volk looking sole, even though it's a cup sole. There's no air tech in here. It's very simple, very basic. It's a casual shoe now. It's always fun to look back on things like this though and be like, man, the guys were playing in these? Yes, they were. Especially if you're looking at like a pair of Chucks. Those are even lower profile than these. Holy crap. I can't believe that they had like full-on careers in shoes like that. The insole is really hard to remove, so I'm not gonna take it out, but it is like kind of like an ortholite. It's not anything special. I don't know if the originals were polyurethane or not, because believe it or not, I was not alive in the 70s. So I never had a pair, never saw an original pair or anything like that outside of pictures, so I'm not sure what they originally came with. The upper on these guys is where things go jumbo, and they got that jumbo ass swoosh. It's on both sides, but this one, it's really like elongated. It envelopes the upper and the tooling, which I think is a really cool touch. This one, it tucks it underneath the thing, so I think that's kind of cool too. And even the Nike tab in the back, where it would be the heel tab, is huge. It goes straight from the top all the way down to the bottom. The Nike font is large as well. I think it's dope. I love this little fin right there, because if you guys know, the Air Jordan 23 actually had that back there, and that was to pay tribute to the way that shoes used to be made way back in the day when they were all hand stitched and everything. They would build them around the last, and then they would finish it off right there, and they'd have a little fin. It was kind of like a crafty touch, and that's what they put on that shoe. That's what they put on these, and I think that's really cool. The materials themselves are pretty cheap. Gonna be perfectly honest, it's exactly what you would expect from a Nike nowadays, which is very sad to say, because Nike is the #1 brand in America, maybe the world, I'm not sure. I know for a fact it's America, but when you think of the #1 brand, you're supposed to also think of quality, and you don't get that. So the materials are of leather, They're just not 100% genuine leather. There's a bunch of other mixed in there. So it feels synthetic, it looks synthetic, it smells synthetic. It is what it is. Now I will say that there is suede on the toe cap right here as well as on the heel. So the enlarged portions, those are actual suedes. I do like that. I think it's really nice looking. Feels great as well. They got this extra stitching on there, which is super weird, but I dig it. And I normally don't like the versions of the Blazer with the suede toes. I think that they look super funny like this. The originals were mad clean. They were just like a simple toe, like a Stan Smith, very clean. You can still get that look if you go on the SB side of the Blazers, where you can get a Blazer low or a Blazer mid, and they have no extra toe rand. You would think that the skate version would have that. The laces on these are pretty interesting. They're puffy laces. They're fat and everything. They remind me of the Superstars back in the day when, you know, Run DMC and all that stuff used to rock my Adidas. They would do this if they didn't take out the laces completely. They would either rock them with no laces or they'd rock them with fat ass laces like this. I loosened mine up. They came hella choked up. I think that this is how they look best. For those of you guys wondering how I do that, I just literally loosen them up. Like I pull out this little top one, like you know, you unknot them, and then you pull it out to the length that you want them, and then you start loosening them accordingly so that they go in a nice uniform fashion, and boom, that's all it is. I didn't take the laces out, I just loosened them up a little bit.
And then Chris has magic feet where shoes just suction cup onto them.
And it's because I get them to fit me. It's not magic. It's called proper sizing. Now, under those puffy fat laces is a traditional looking tongue minus the neon. That's not traditional, but I do like the way that that's in there. And they got that really clean, classic Nike patch on there. It even has the original wording or verbiage right there on the back, which I like. And yes, the originals did have that cut tongue, so you have the stuffing within it exposed. That again is something that a lot of people correlate with the Off-White line, even though the Off-White line was paying tribute to the original line when they used to do that. So that's what that's all about. That's why the Off-White stuff is dope. I just don't think that it's necessarily something that should be reselling for thousands of dollars. Although now, you know, unfortunate circumstances, and that's one of them. So that I at least understand. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. So whatever you typically wear in your footwear, that's exactly what I would recommend. They fit me perfectly. It's not magic. It's just proper sizing. I really like these. I grabbed these over at Phenom. Locally here, I talked to them the other day because I've had these for like 2 weeks now. Sorry. We got a lot of stuff to do and we're trying to get them done as fast as possible. But they were telling me that they were actually moving. So that's always a plus. I don't know if these are online yet. I just have seen them in the store, so that's where I got mine from. So if you're in the Sacramento or Elk Grove area, you can go ahead and check them out. They're open daily. Hopefully they still have your size. Outside of that, you can look up or Google Nike Blazer 77 Jumbo, and hopefully they're available somewhere. But anyways, what do you think about these? Do you think they're cool? Do you like the regular Blazers? Our kids both have Blazers.
I know, and they look super cute in them.
It's a super trendy shoe right now. I think they've always been dope. Again, I prefer the original style tooling over this tooling, but this tooling is better than some of the others that I have seen, so I do like this one.
Yeah, our daughter wears the traditional style. They both have
They both have this colorway, but in high top form.
But our son has the coolest pair because they're bungee lace with a Velcro strap, but they just look very clean.
And all the kids at his school, and he's an elementary school kid, they always are like, yo, nice shoes. And I don't even remember being like that in elementary school. So our generation really has rubbed off on all future generations as far as footwear is concerned, which I think is super fucking cool.
There's this kid who sees Chris when we're walking to school, and he's like 4th grade, 5th grade. Chris is wearing some Travis Scotts, and he'll be like, my guy, my guy.
The kid's hella funny. He's hella funny.
Travis Scotts, my guy.
And I don't know what to say to him though, so I'm always like, yeah, I do. It's a little awkward, but it's still cool. But anyways, let me know what you think about these down below in the comment section. Are you interested in these? If you are, good luck on finding a pair. Like I said, I don't know if they've released fully online yet. They've just been kind of trickling around in stores. So go ahead, head to your stores, especially your local smaller shops, not just the Foot Lockers, but like if you have some smaller stores like a Phenom, you never know what you might find in there because stuff like this doesn't have a release date. It's when they get them in, they can put them on the shelf. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the support, and until next time, guys, have a good one.